Hey everybody, Mike from the Focus Garage here, and in today's video, we're going to be showing you how to remove the chrome from your pizza box. What we are looking at here is my King Tour Pack for my 2017 Road Glide Ultra. Over the course of this winter, I'm going to be taking a lot of the chrome items on the bike and converting them to black, either by taking the pieces off and painting them myself, powder coating them, or buying replacement pieces. In the case of this video, we are going to be working on the Tour Pack as you see here, with purchased replacement pieces. Now, the reason that I purchased these pieces rather than taking mine off and having them sent to powder coating is because I read online that a lot of these pieces have small hinge mechanisms and spring mechanisms in them that they can get messed up when you powder coat them here. So in order to make sure all the tolerances remain well enough to work on the bike, I just went and bought some pieces that have already been powder coated properly or painted properly, however it's been done. These are gloss black, as you can see here. They're going to be replacing the chrome finished ones here. But, rather than taking these off, having them powder coated, I went ahead and just bought a set of replacement pieces so that way it's just easier to swap them over. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. I'm going to start on the right hand side of the motorcycle here. So obviously this is the side with the latch mechanism, as you can see here. You're going to want to open it up, and I'm going to be retaining my locks so it works with the saddlebags and the key fob for the bike. So you see here, you're going to have to remove this lock cylinder right in here. It's easiest to actually do this while this piece is on the Tour Pack itself. So, go ahead and, with the Tour Pack shut, open this up, and let me see if I can get that in there. You're going to have two little screws. You can access one through each side here. My replacement set did come with a new lock and screws, but I'm just going to be retaining all of my factory hardware and all of the factory locks. So this lock here, I'm going to go ahead and you can kind of see they give you access holes here to go ahead and slip your screwdriver in there and get those pieces out. And then once you've got the lock section out itself, you can go ahead and open up the Tour Pack. With the Tour Pack open, what you're going to be doing is very, very easy. Just peel back the liner and you've just got two screws. You got boom, boom, and then boom, boom. So I guess that's 4 screws, 2 on each side, and this whole entire mechanism will pull out, and you can go ahead, bolt it back into place, and put in your factory lock on the other hardware. So I'm going to go ahead, switch some of that stuff over, and I'll show you what I'm working with. I believe the screws that you need for here, this is a T15 or a T20 bit, and I think you're also working with the exact same kind of screw in here. So this has little washers on it. Just pay close attention to that, not to drop them deep inside the Tour Pack there. Alright, in case anybody was wondering, it is in fact a T20 bit to go ahead and remove those factory screws that hold the latch onto the motorcycle there. So after you remove the 4 T20s from the back of this, I'll show you what that looks like here. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 T20s that just hold this piece onto the Tour Pack itself, and then that's it. You can go ahead and remove it from the bike. I did say I wanted to at first retain the factory hardware, which looks like this here. However, you do have to use the new provided screws because they are a different thread pitch. They are also T20s, but they're a different thread pitch, so just note that when you're doing it. I did also learn that it is easier to reinstall the lock once this is actually off the Tour Pack rather than on it. You can just lay this flat on the table. You have much more access with your fingers and everything like that. It's not at so much of a strange angle to go ahead and swap that lock piece over. So again, this does provide you with 3 keys and a new lock. I'm using my factory lock here just because, obviously, I want to use that. It's going to make a lot more sense than keeping an extra key with me for my motorcycle. So, swapped over the factory lock from this piece here, swapped it into the new gloss black latch here. I'm going to go ahead and use the new 4 provided screws, also T20s, and line this up onto the Tour Pack, gently threading each screw by hand first. And then I'm going to go ahead and put them the rest of the way down once all 4 are lightly threaded in. Nothing groundbreaking, nothing earth-shattering. We've got the black latch installed. It is literally as simple as 4 T20 screws on the inside of the Tour Pack. So you just kind of, like I said, get these lined up gently by hand and then put them the rest of the way in with a very small socket wrench. You are good to go. This is obviously going to function the exact same way as stock. No wiggle room with it. It's tight to the motorcycle. You can move the Tour Pack around and you're good to go. So we're going to go ahead and tackle the actual hinges on the other side. Like I said, this is the latch, and that's what it looks like now. Very, very sleek. Gloss black. Looks good with the black trimmer on the lights and the black paint on the bike there. So we'll switch the other piece here and show you what that's going like. Totally just kidding you. If you want to go for the full blackout look, you're also going to want to replace the actual lever, or I guess you'd call this a latch mechanism also. You've got this chrome bar that this new black latch is going to have to go ahead and attach to. It's just this little chrome bar here. Very, very easy. Same thing, T20s. You got 4 of them that hold it to the motorcycle. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're a little difficult to find because they're kind of tucked under this weather stripping, but you know, a nice long extension or a screwdriver bit could help you get to that. So pull these 4 off, and this one's really, really simple. It's literally no moving pieces, nothing like that to really line up too difficult or anything. Just pull this off and swap in the new one. So I'll show you what that looks like. All right, this little mechanism piece was pretty easy. The only thing I would say to be mindful of is when you're installing this, be very, very careful not to pinch your weather stripping up underneath the bolt. It's difficult to kind of get this into place, get the 4 screws in, and then lightly threaded without wanting to pinch the weather stripping up in there. So I'm just using a screwdriver bit right here to go ahead and pull those up into or to get the screws into place. So make sure you're not pinching that, and then you're good to go to get this piece lined up here. And that is what she looks like all latched up on this side. So this actually works just as well as stock. Feels literally identical. So I'm wondering if they just powder coated factory pieces, but again, boom, pull it open, and voila, the tour pack opens. Shut it on down, boom. Nice metal solid latch. It literally does not feel any different from factory there. So that's really, really nice, really, really satisfying. Pop it open and then, you know, boom, you're good to go. Let's check out the chrome hinges on the other side. So here's what we're looking at on this side. You've just got the 2 chrome hinges right here. So I'm going to show you what screws you go ahead to remove these on the inside, and then we'll get to working these pieces apart. So inside the tour pack here, you're going to have, I think, 4 screws pretty much per hinge. So you can see you've got 1, 2, and then you've actually got 2 sneaky ones hiding out underneath this weather stripping. You can see there's one there and another one there, and then if you pull back your liner, you've got the other 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. These are all T20. They're all the exact same screw. Luckily for me, I'm actually going to put something inside the tour pack here, just with that lid open and not attached to the bike. It does want to kind of swing down, so I'm going to put some weight in this here just so I don't have to worry about the tour pack flying away from me. But luckily, we do have the tether string still attached, so I'm hoping that's about as far open as that goes, and it's not going to allow the tour pack to kind of tilt more outwards or anything like that. So we're going to go ahead and switch these pieces out now. So I just wanted to point something out here while I'm installing everything back onto the bike and switching over the pieces. On these hinges, there is a left and a right marking. So I'll go ahead and show you right here. Deep inside that, right there, is an R. I don't know if you can see that there. Probably not the best, but right in there is an R. And then on this other piece here, if you wanted to see, there's an L. You can see that pretty clearly there at the L right there. This is also on the factory pieces. You can see there's an R very, very clearly right there. Now, the ad did not specify if these are OEM or not, but you guys have to tell me because it's pretty damn close. Like, the castings, the marking lines, the left and right directions, the reinforcement, the pins, and everything. I mean, it actually looks like, ironically, the pin on this piece, it's like it's, no, same. Very, very, very similar. So this is a cap. Actually, the factory does not have a cap on either side. Mine's got a cap on one side and not on the other. But, I mean, they're very, very, very close. I'll let you know how fit and finish is once it's all installed on the bike. But again, all you need is a T20 on a screwdriver and a T20 on a socket. And you can kind of shimmy this however you need to. Also, my theory is correct. If you have something kind of supporting the tour pack, you've got the tour pack weighed down, and you've also got this tether string on, removing one latch at a time, you're going to be fine. This isn't going to fall off or disconnect from the bike. Yeah, there's a little bit of wiggle room with it, but you're obviously going to need that to get the new piece lined up. So don't worry about this falling open as long as you're doing one section at a time the way I am. So just to kind of show you one last look of what it looks like in the inside, I will give you the tip. This front hinge is much, much more difficult just because of the angle when you unlatch it, of how this is swinging free from the saddlebag, or not the saddlebag, the tour pack. Because now not only can it fall back a little bit more, it can also pivot front and back. So an extra arm would have been helpful. I kind of shimmied something up with just old clothes and rags to get it high enough to where it needs to be. I recommend bolting in the top part first, and then that kind of allows you to get a better aim of where you need the lower part of the bag to line up there. So again, here's kind of with the tour pack liner a little bit more pulled back. You've got your 4 screws there, the 2 there, and then you got your 2 more hiding under the weather stripping there. Again, all T20s, that's what it takes to put it on there. Let's check it out, what it looks like installed. So here we've got the left-hand side of the tour pack with the black hinges on there. You can see it flows very, very nicely with the black tour pack, the black trim around the lights, and everything like that. Just kind of blends right in. And then here we've got the right-hand side, the actual latch mechanism there with the factory lock swapped over into it. And then left over here are all of our factory parts. You know, we've got the hinges, the latch mechanism, the little bar that the latch connects to, and then all the stock hardware that came with that. So as far as closing thoughts and comments go, the only thing I'd really want to point out that was kind of less than perfect with this was that some of the threads on these black pieces had issues wanting to put the screws into them. Basically what had happened was, I don't know if these are painted or powder coated, but you can tell some of it had got onto the threads and the screws didn't want to go in initially. So before you try to put anything onto the motorcycle, I do recommend on a table or on a bench going through and actually trying to put all the screws in on every single piece. Just kind of chase the threads, nothing major. I didn't have to tap them or anything like that, but just run the provided screws through the threads, making sure that everything goes in and fits snugly to the bottom where it needs to go. Once you do that, you should have no problem installing them on the tour pack itself here. But I'm very, very pleased with the way that these fit. I would say these are OEM-like quality. I kind of believe that these may be OEM pieces, just painted or powder coated. I saw a lot of stampings, nothing Harley-Davidson marking, but I also didn't see any Harley-Davidson markings on the original pieces either. So these very well may be factory originals. They're not plastic or anything. They're metals, just like the original. They latch and they move just the same way the original does. And that's pretty much it. This is pretty simple. All you need is a T20 screwdriver and a T20 socket, and you can go ahead and knock this installation out yourself. It won't take you very long. However, I do recommend if you are doing it completely solo, that you should probably have some way to hold the top of the tour pack when you're doing those hinges. The latch is very, very easy. The hinges have a tendency to kind of not want to line up properly, and just having 2 hands doesn't really give you the freedom you need to get it into place to line up those little screws, because those screws that hold this assembly, the hardware to the tour pack itself, are very, very small. So you can really find yourself fighting with trying to line up the screws to the threads while you're trying to align the tour pack, and it gets a little challenging sometimes, but nothing that anybody can't handle. Very, very easy. Again, this is definitely something you can knock out yourself, just in a little bit of time here, and totally transform the overall look of your tour pack. I don't have a luggage rack on it right now. That's off getting powder coated, but I will have the luggage rack back on top. That'll be gloss black, so that'll also match the hinges and the latches that are on there now. This is Mike from the Focus Garage. If you do like this video, be sure to let us know with a thumbs up and drop a comment down and below with what you think about these black latches and hinges here. This will all come together over the next few months here when we finish up the bike, so you will see kind of a transformation of where we've been and where we're going. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.